A very good morning wherever you're watching us from. This is Kirk in the morning. It is the 22nd of February 2022 on a Wednesday. My name is Vincent Kirosi. Great to have you again on Kirk in the morning. We have a lot lined up for you. Today we have a topic. We have a discussion, of course, on the issue to do with the CSS. Of course, we know that the Public Service Commission yesterday shortlisted 224 names to take those positions. As far as that is concerned, we are going to have that chat later on with our guest in studio. But first things first, of course, remember that you can also weigh in this conversation on our social media platforms, Kirk TV Kenya on Facebook, Kirk TV Kenya on Twitter, as well as our SMS number 0311220044. We'll be able to sample some of your feedback even as we continue with the conversation at the tail end of it all. Welcome. Let's have a look at what is happening on the roads first. On the roads this morning, we begin by looking at Langata Road this morning. Looking at Langata Road all the way from Galleria Mall, it doesn't look as bad inbound to the city. Only that there is a little bit of traffic between Nairobi, Safari Walk, and all the way to around Langata Barracks there. But after that, it flows all the way to the junction of the Southern Bypass, all the way again inbound to the city. A little bit of traffic from the junction of course, the Southern Bypass, all the way to around around Dam Estate there. But after that, it flows through. If you're going to join, of course, Mbagathi Way, a little bit of traffic there. Actually, it's a bad traffic, let me tell you the truth. It's a bad traffic on Mbagathi Way, that's Raila Odinga Road, all the way to Riara University. It doesn't look good. Then it opens a little bit. Then all through to Kenyatta Hospital, going all through to Community Valley Road. It doesn't look good at all this morning. Let's look at what is happening on Mombasa Road this morning. Mombasa Road inbound to the city. Looking a little bit of light this morning, but a little bit of traffic from South Sea all through to Nyayo Stadium, then connecting to Uhuru Highway. There's a little bit of traffic all the way to Haile Selassie roundabout. If you are using that route, then of course you might have to be prepared in your mind that you will take a little bit of time before you get into the CBD this morning. What is happening on other roads? Lusaka Road, don't even try going through that because it's heavy bumper to bumper. Let's have a look at Enterprise Road. It looks nice if you're on Mombasa Road and you want to take an alternative route connecting Jogo Road. Enterprise Road really looking nice this morning. Can I have a look at Jogo Road this morning? Yes, I got it. Jogo Road on my map. Jogo Road is a bad road this morning, a bad route into the CBD this morning. Kindly, if you can avoid that, please do, because it doesn't look good at all the way connecting to Landis Road doesn't look good at all. Let's have a look at what is happening on Thika Road this morning. If I can find that, Thika Road this morning, inbound to the city. Well, it doesn't look bad, except at around Mbagathi Estate there, not Mbagathi, sorry, Muthaiga Estate. That is where it kind of snarls up. But all the same, it doesn't look a bad day if you are on Thika Road this morning. Remember that you can tell us any of the incidents or accidents that you've met or that you've seen, and we'll be able to report and inform the public this morning to ease on your way into the city. That's a little bit of what is happening on the roads this morning, and I believe that we have helped you to find alternative routes into the city this morning. Well, after the roads, let's have a look at what is written or what is making headlines in the top dailies in the nation this morning. Well, I have two dailies with me here, the Standard and the Daily Nation this morning. Let's begin by looking at what is written in the Standard this morning. On the top page of the Standard, revealed secrets of Dusit terror raid. This is a story that, of course, we all know from the year 2019. And this is what is written on the page. Investigators have revealed to the High Court sitting in Nairobi the movements, communication, the faces behind the heinous attack on a Nairobi hotel in January 2019 after combing through Facebook, 177 SIM cards, M-Pesa transactions, calls, and texts. This story is covered deeply in page 8, but if I might give you a glimpse of what is here, they're saying that the attackers, the faces behind the attack is Ali Salim Gishunge, aka Farouk, Osman Ibrahim Gedi, Siat Omar Abdi, and Mahir Khalid Riziki. These are the four faces behind the attack, of course, and this is what they're saying. 806,900. This is the amount that Ali Salem Gishunge, the leader of the Dusit 2 attackers, received via M-Pesa, and 25 is the number of people killed, of course, in that heinous attack in Dusit terror blamed on Somalia group Al-Shabaab in 2019. This story is covered extensively on page 8 of the Standard, and if you want to read and get more juice on the story, kindly have a look at that in the Standard, page 8. Another story covered on the top page is the agony of head teachers rejected at new schools. Several head teachers and principals in parts of Nyanza who were transferred to new institutions are on the edge after they were rejected by a section of parents and school boards. This story covered deeply in page 12. Another story that I think will catch your attention this morning is to do with the Jubilee politics, of course. These parties, Sabina Chege saying that the reason why Jubilee is dwindling is because their party leader, that is the former president Uhuru Kenyatta, is silent. So saying that all to blame on the silence of Uhuru Kenyatta. Let's have a look at another story here. Let me flip over to page 4 of the Standard. Of course, this is going to make part of a conversation this morning. Ruto's CAS headache as he juggles between allies and getting job done. They've, of course, tried to classify the 224 names and the counties that they come from. And this is what I can give you in a glimpse. Mombasa has 6 names shortlisted, Kwale County 5 names, Kilifi 4 names, Tana River 4, Lamu 4 as well, Taita Taveta 4, Garissa 4, Wajir 5, which other county? Mandera 7, Isiolo 7, Marsabit 7, Isiolo 4, sorry. Nairobi City County has 3, and 3, of course, are not indicated. This makes the, of course, these names make the total of 224, and we're going to look at this deeply to see where, of course, this comes from and what it pertains or what it depicts as far as the face of Kenya is concerned. Now, another story, of course, on that page is Kibwana and Oginde in running for EACC chairperson's post. Remember that the PAC as well yesterday shortlisted 14 candidates who are in, of course, vying for the position of the chairperson of the EACC. That is the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. That story covered on page 4 of the Standard. Let me just put this aside and look at what the Nation or the Daily Nation has this morning. A story on the top page: storm over constituency boundaries. A race against time. Review of borders has stalled because of a dysfunctional electoral commission, a dispute over a secret crucial document, and supremacy wars between rival political formations. This story is covered on page 4, but it's all to do with the boundaries. Remember that the IEBC has a role to review boundaries in a period of not more than 12 years, and these 12 years will expire next year, March. If that is not done, then this is going to be a constitutional crisis. That is a story covered by the Standard. A story on the top page of as well of the Nation. State jobs. Raila accuses Ruto of tribalism, and this is of course to do with the names that were mentioned yesterday as far as the CS is concerned, and the other appointments that have taken place. Raila saying that Ruto's regime is exercising tribalism as far as those appointments are concerned. That story is covered extensively on page 5 of the Standard. Story, of course, as I told you, a story on the boundaries covered on page 4 extensively and deeply. You can have a read on that. Maybe I flip over to the last page of the Nation this morning. And what it says, medics, lawyers protest, SRC plan to abolish allowances. Remember that the Salaries and Remuneration Commission has come out to say that it may relook into the allowances of medics and lawyers. And this is not, of course, getting into good quarters with these mentioned departments, the medics and lawyers. They are protesting against that plan of the SRC. Basically, that is in a nutshell what is covered in the top dailies in the nation or in the country. And as I always tell you, if you want to read deeply, then of course pick your favorite of the two and have a juicy read to understand what my fellow journalists have covered this morning. That is the newspaper review. Well, after the newspaper, after the traffic, time to take a short break. But when we come back, I'll be joined in the studio by my two guests who are going to help us understand of course, the topic of discussion this morning being the race for CASs and other things to do with the political arena this morning. Remember that you can join in our conversation on our social media pages, Kirk TV Kenya on Facebook, Kirk TV_Kenya on Twitter, as well as our SMS number being 0111 220044. We'll be able to look at what you say even as we continue this conversation. Do not go away. I'll be right back with the guest in studio.
The Department of PCEA Children Ministry Head Office has good news for you. Are you looking for a profession that does not disappoint? The place to be is at PCEA Shalom ECDE College, offering a course for diploma in ECDE. Requirements are KCSE mean grade of C and above. You can also do upgrading from an ECDE certificate to a diploma, and the requirements are an ECDE certificate. Intake is currently ongoing, offering flexible modes of learning on e-learning or full-time. Enroll now and register for the 2023 class on our main campus at Zambezi Kikuyu along Nairobi Naivasha Road Lake Training Center. You can also apply online via the PCEA Shalom ECDE online registration form. Shalom Academy and Junior Secondary School intake is ongoing. We have a one-year offer on zero tuition fee to all new grade 7 students. For more information, call the office on 0111 758 285 or 0113 107 958. You can get in touch with the director, Reverend Peters, on 0725 236 260. Send us an email, pcashalomdekte@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook and Instagram too at PCEA Shalom Dekte. Hostels and meals are available for the students in the same venue at a competitive price. You're welcome for a bright future career. Welcome to PCEA Abundant Hope Academy in Eldoret for primary section grade 1 to grade 6 and junior secondary grade 7. We have boarding facilities and we offer transport too. Interviews are currently ongoing. PCEA Abundant Hope Academy is located in Eldoret, opposite Rift Valley Bottlers along Mifugo Street, PO Box 863-30-100 Eldoret. For more information, please call us on 0725 666 512 or 0722 698 693. This is where your child should be. Welcome.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
The Presbyterian Church Men Fellowship, PCMF, welcomes all PCMF readers to the annual Readers Conference year 2023 in Milere Beach Hotel, Mombasa, as we mark the journey of 50 years from when the idea of having a men fellowship was mooted since 1973. Keep registering, keep paying up through our group's account in Family Bank.
Our year 2023 theme for the conference comes from the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 24. And it says, motivated men in love for good works.
Greetings to all of you who watch Kirk TV programs. I send you Christian love and peace from all the Kirk family and the entire ministry. Since God gave us this Kirk TV, which is a very competent means of reaching people in and outside Kenya, Kirk TV is undoubtedly giving good and effective services to many people wherever our signal reaches. It is evident that God is at work through Kirk TV. We therefore need your loving support through your continuous prayers. We also appeal passionately for your generous financial support to help us be on air as the Lord will require us to do and to be. Please plan to give regularly. Please give occasionally, or you can begin to give a one-time gift. The scripture is right that you will be made rich in every way so that you can be generous on every occasion, and your generosity will result in thanksgiving to God. Please respond to this genuine, urgent appeal. Kindly be a Kirk TV partner. May God bless you abundantly as we join hands to do this good work.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 4019613, account partner. Pay bill number 4019613, account partner.
Keep it Kirk now and going forward. We have a lot of family programs, and this being a Christian commercial station, we will partner with you as institutions, as individuals, so that we are able to reach out to the entire world. One person said that my parish is the entire world, and I believe that Kirk TV is going globally, and therefore bring your business. We are going to advertise it and also partner with you.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 4019613, account partner. Pay bill number 4019613, account partner. Welcome to PCEA Abundant Hope Academy in Eldoret for primary section grade 1 to grade 6 and junior secondary grade 7. We have boarding facilities and we offer transport too. Interviews are currently ongoing. PCEA Abundant Hope Academy is located in Eldoret, opposite Rift Valley Bottlers along Mifugo Street, PO Box 863-30-100 Eldoret. For more information, please call us on 0725 666 512 or 0722 698 693. This is where your child should be. Welcome. The Department of PCEA Children Ministry Head Office has good news for you. Are you looking for a profession that does not disappoint? The place to be is at PCEA Shalom ECDE College, offering a course for diploma in ECDE. Requirements are KCSE mean grade of C and above. You can also do upgrading from an ECDE certificate to a diploma, and the requirements are an ECDE certificate. Intake is currently ongoing, offering flexible modes of learning on e-learning or full-time. Enroll now and register for the 2023 class on our main campus at Zambezi Kikuyu along Nairobi Naivasha Road Lake Training Center. You can also apply online via the PCEA Shalom ECDE online registration form. Shalom Academy and Junior Secondary School intake is ongoing. We have a one-year offer on zero tuition fee.
All right, welcome back. Kirk in the morning is back. My name is Vincent Kerossi. If you're just joining us, and in studio I'm joined by two gentlemen. One on my far right hand there is Ngugi Ndego, the chairperson of NA Kenya Youth League, is going to help us understand now that he's in it as far as the opposition is concerned. What are they doing and how are they doing it? What are they up for or up to for that matter? But right in the middle is Odiwuor Paul Olala. Is a politician. When you say politician, have you vied before?
Yeah, I was a former candidate.
Okay.
Kware
Forward.
Bakari
Okay.
constituency, 2022.
Kware,
Yes.
what a tough place to become a politician. Bwana Ndegwa, let's begin with you. And straight, let's go into it. Of course, the topic of the day today is a race for CSS. But before then, let's begin from the word go. Are you happy from your side what you're doing as an opposition, in quotes, because the constitution does not come clearly and mandate you that position, but you're de facto opposition. What are you doing? Are you doing it right?
One, I would say it is imperative for an opposition, whether it will be parties that maybe came second runners-up, third runners-up, but as long as you're not in the government, and even for those who are in government, it's important for the people to keep on checking the government to ensure that what the people were promised is actually fulfilled. And I think it's a good thing to ensure that we talk about the issues of food prices, issues that actually matter. Issues of food prices, issues of punitive taxes, which I think is basically the role of the opposition. So without majorly speaking for the opposition or my party, because I do not have the mandate, I would say that it is important to actually look at these things and tell the government you are doing it correctly here, but you will do better. Okay.
The government and that the president has called for a strong opposition, an opposition that is going to put the government in check. Actually, he's pushing for a constitutional review to have, the office, the official office of the opposition leader, inside in that constitution. But what are you seeing from the opposition and how it's being received by the government of the day?
The government called for the opposition and they wanted an oversight or someone that can check on the activities. But the way things are going, in fact, they should not be, the Azimio or the opposition should not even ask for that office anymore, because there's an uprising coming up. Because if you check what happened yesterday, people are very tired of this government. It is just some few months after elections. If you look at the young people, these are the people who are at the receiving end, but it's like they were conned. Because if a senior government official can come to a podium and say, this government is like a company. If you don't have shares, then you won't benefit. Now, where is the position of the youth, and where is the position of the Mamboga, and where is the position of the border body?
But does he make sense by saying that it's a company with shares, because there are people who voted, of course there are those people who voted for the other side?
Well, necessarily, I do not agree with his sentiments, but I think it will be important to note this, that the reality of the matter is that he's only speaking out what many others would not have said, because that is the reality of governments and how they come in place, not only in Africa, not only in Kenya, even in other countries. That politically you want to look correct or to look right by those who helped you to get to power, and that is politics, and that is perfectly okay, because if Azimio were to come to power, and if Azimio managed per se to take power, it is the exact thing they will do. They will first go into the business of ensuring that those who helped them campaign get into government. But it is also important to note that that should not be the position of a state official, because saying that also, perspective in politics is also important, and it shapes how the people see things and how we feel. Because the truth be said, the government or even governments are to be able to serve even those who did not vote for them. And if the perspective were to be seen in that way, that he's actually saying that they will not serve, which I believe is not what he's saying, that they will not serve those who did not vote for them, then that will be wrong, because the work of the government is to serve everybody. But as regards to the formation, to appointments and the arrangement and the organization of their government, it is basically up to the government of the day to decide we like this person and we would like this person because of his role in our campaigns to work for us.
But do you feel this should be an unspoken truth? You don't have to speak it out. You can work it in the background, but you don't have to come out and speak it to the people, because people will not understand the way you wanted to say it. And again, it creates notions, creates also questions about your magnanimity in terms of selections, in terms of appointments, and that national outlook.
If you look at the country right now, even the way things are going, life is not the way it was before. But now, if you look at the appointments that were made, you find that the youths are not well captured in these appointments. Remember, desperate times call for desperate measures. And that's why you see the Azimio leaders are moving around seeking public opinions. Why are they doing that? Because they know very well that sovereignty or sovereign power rests on the people. Then constitutions come second. Then the law comes third. Now, we want this power to be exercised, and we want to see it and feel it through the leaders whom we elected. But now, if they are now moving, like you saw what happened in the Senate, that some members were complaining the parties are poaching some members to the other side. Meaning, maybe there is a bill which is about to be tabled in Parliament, and they want that bill to be passed without any impediment. You see? Now, if it reached that point, then we, those who voted for them, will lack trust in them. Then what will we do? There will be an uprising. People will go to the streets. Now, that is where the government wants us to take, the road to take, because if a senior leader can speak that in a public podium, and people are dying of hunger somewhere, some are being killed by the bandits, if there are things that we should give first priority first. Yes.
And also to add to that, I'm sorry to maybe interrupt, but also to add to that, it is important to say that the work of the government and the leadership of a country is to ensure that they provide hope. Not only trust, but also hope. So it also goes with also knowing and understanding what to say and what not to say. Because again, as I had said earlier, creating the perspective that you do not care about certain people also breeds a lack of trust and lack of hope for the future. And so it is important in some way to try and hide some of these political truths that...
And another question I'm asking when I had that, the question I ask myself is, then who is speaking here? Because we see the president as, in several times accommodated, and even we've seen them, inviting the opposition, elected, leaders. We had the ODM leaders, the Jubilee leaders go to State House. After that, they took pictures, including the Deputy President in those pictures. But then it comes out, the Deputy President comes and says, if you think you're going to go ahead of the queue from those who, who are part of the who are part of this company,
of cooking.
Who are part of, then you are wrong. I'm going to take that role of ensuring that if you are ahead of the queue and you don't serve that position, I take you back. I bring you to the front. Who is speaking here? Because we see the president doing different things, the deputy president is speaking different things.
I would say that I will be worried if such words came from the president, but luckily they are not coming from the president. Because we should also look at it this way, that it is an unsaid truth. But the work of the deputy president, whether it is written in the constitution or not, is to play the politics that the president cannot play. And I think his deputy is executing that perfectly well. That he is helping his boss to play the politics that he cannot play. He's actually voicing what the president would have said earlier when he was not president. But again, there is also a limit to how far he should go, because he should not again overdo it. Now, when you overdo it, it becomes a bit awful and a bit distasteful. But I think as for this one, the president has not clearly come out to maybe bash him for saying such things. But he has consistently shown that he is speaking about a consistent thing. His line of thought has been consistent. That this government is for all. You remember when he went during his tour to Nyanza, or was it Migori or something?
Yeah.
He clearly stated that, which comes out perfectly in his Swahili when he says that mulitupatia kura kidogo. I don't remember what the word in Dholuo was. That mulitupatia kura inatoshana. I imagine it was very little.
The president?
The president. He said, what was the word? I don't remember the word. But in Dholuo he said that mulitupatia kura kidogo sana. But it doesn't mean that hatutafanya kwa hiyo kidogo tunashukuru. Those words are good for a statesman. But it is also important to maybe join them, or maybe take them together with action, so that we see what you are saying and what is being done is actually true.
Yeah, but he launched a lot of projects down there when he went. So fair play.
Yes.
Yeah. What is in store for these MPs, especially from the opposition? Not only MPs, but elected leaders, even from regions that are deemed to be opposition strongholds, that have gone to State House, that are trying now to, create a warm relationship with the government of the day. What is in store for them if the deputy president comes and says, "Usidhani mtakao kule mbele, I'm there"?
Let me tell you one thing. These people,
is it a working futility?
Like for the MPs, they were claiming that they were going for development. I don't think if there's any development in State House. It is the MPs in the parliament that pass these bills and make sure that all the counties are captured on the basis of development. So I don't think if you want the treasury to give you money to develop your constituency, you have to go to the State House. We are the taxpayers. We have the right to receive this development. We don't have to wait for our leader to go to State House. If they are going in the capacity to see the president, there is no problem with that. But now, if they are going to form an affiliation with the other parties, then they have a party which they sign an agreement. There is a consignment. There are terms and conditions. They read the document and signed. So first, these people have betrayed the party. Second, they have betrayed the people who voted for them. They should not take them for granted. Take for example, the member of parliament for Langata. There are very many people who believed in him in the party he was, and that's why they voted him, because that race was contested and you saw it.
But he hasn't left in the party.
Yes, but now he crossed, and now there was a claim that some were saying the money that we were given this side was very small, we never expected. We saw those things in the social media, even if they are not true. But now, if a citizen who voted for these people is now reading that so these people only went for money. Now because the money was little, now they run back to their parties. What are you telling us? You see?
All right, and let's take this conversation,
just
forward.
Just before you go on.
Okay.
I would like maybe in disagreement maybe.
Okay.
To say that according to the workbook, and maybe just how the Constitution puts it, that is how it should be, because MPs have mandates. Every leader that is elected and every position that is enshrined in the Constitution, they are given mandates by the Constitution, which to some extent is what he's saying. But it is also good to be aware that there is also what is constitutional and what is the reality. Because other than the mandate that the MPs are given by the Constitution, it is actually true that part of their work, so that they can be able to deliver to the people, is to form friendships. Because the CDF will not be enough if that becomes constitutional. It will not be enough to serve the people. The other funds will not be. So it means you will have to form friendships along the way that will help you and make your work easier, so that you are able to fulfill your mandate, which is constitutional, to the people, so that you are able to bring back the schools and the renovations that you told them, the roads that maybe you promised them. You need to work, not entirely, but to work with the government of the day to some extent, to be able to tell them that we are forming friendships for the sake of the people. Now, I think what we should do, and that is what I have said consistently in most of the places that I've spoken, that we need to separate party politics from how we serve servanthood to our people, so that we are able to see that the people have elected, for instance, Jalang or Honorable Felix, to be able to represent them and to voice out what they need to the government or not. That should not be the case. But there is also what the party, the principles of the party state, how he should behave himself. Now we should be able to ask ourselves, according to the principles of the ODM, which I do not know, has he gone against the rules of the party constitution? If not, then it should not be the case that we should bash him for actually trying to fend, whether he's right or not, for trying to fend or to try to look for alternative ways to bring that which he promised faster.
Yeah, I want to give an opportunity to say something, but even as you say that, we know that this has been the public domain for a while, that the regions that did not work with the government, the regions that were not, that were in opposition during the yesteryears, have received less development projects, and there's been, or to be seen, less development in those areas. Speak of especially the Nyanza region that has been for long been in the opposition. But when the ODM party leader, the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, worked with Uhuru in his last tenure, there seems to be movement in those regions, developmental projects there, and one of the role of an MP is representation, and he has to represent what his people want to the head of state.
It not necessarily that you have to go to State House for your area to be
It's just an office, and
because
State House is just an office. They would have gone to Harambee.
We have devolution, and each and every county is allocated funds, right? And each and every fund goes to respective projects. If you are a leader in that area, don't want to develop your area, don't say that it's because we are not close to the government. There are very many leaders who have been elected in different parties that are not in Kenya Kwanza, but they have started working. Look at what Babu Owino is doing in Embakasi East. He's working. Has he gone to State House? No. So it's not a must to go to State House for you to get development. Those people should tell us why they went to State House.
Let me ask
if you talk about friendship, must you be in friendship with the president so that you can develop your area? Not necessarily. People have foundations. These people have foundations. You can attract investors. Langata is very rich. If you look at the suburb, it's full of rich people, and he can attract investors.
But there are those investors that come through the state. You might not be able to engage them directly, but they will be engaged by the government of the state.
These leaders have connections. It's not a must. They must pass through.
Isn't this part of the connections, having a connection with the head of state?
No.
Isn't it not
some
a
have
connection?
friends. These people have been leaders. Some have been in media houses. They have connections.
Well, let me ask you, if they did not meet the president at State House, but they met him in a public rally in Nyanza, some region in Nyanza, what would have that been?
It doesn't matter, but they have to come out clear and tell us the basis of the
They say they went for developmental talks.
There is no problem. So we want to see that development.
Okay, allow me to move forward this conversation.
No, just to mention.
One second.
While tukipitia hivyo mbio. You know, I've heard of these sentiments that a statement where someone says that, and that this is someone from the ODM party who says that these people should not have gone to the president. If the president came to their place, that would have been okay. But if we also say that if the mountain will not go to Moses, then Moses must go to the mountain. I think the bottom line, just to finish off, the bottom line should be the people. That if the people, if it demands that you actually cross the line, so that you serve the people better, then be it.
Okay, I want us to move forward, but before we go to the race for CSS, something just cropped in at my mind. I was reading it in the Nation this morning. And of course, Jubilee is part of Azimio. I want to believe still. They haven't, begun and completed the process of exiting, but they're still part of Azimio. And one of the leaders of Jubilee, the nominated MP, Sabina Shegia, who is a deputy minority leader in the National Assembly as well, has said that the reason why there is jitters and looks to be, misunderstanding the Jubilee Party is because of the silence of the party leader himself and this Uhuru Kenyatta. How true could that be?
There's no silence. Yesterday, if you listen to Citizen Radio, Jeremiah Kioni was speaking yesterday. There are some people who defected, or they wanted to defect. They went to State House. We'll still talk about the State House. And then they were asked, what are you going to bring? Then they claimed they want to come with the party. They want to come with the Jubilee Party. How can a section of 4 to 5 elected leaders say that they want to come with the whole party, a national party? Then they want to impeach the Secretary General. It doesn't make sense. So I think the math they were doing is that the Mount Kenya leaders, or the Mount Kenya region leaders, whom will defect from UDA, because the pressure is mounting, they will defect and they will never have a landing place, because the Jubilee will be already in Kenya Kwanza. But now when all these things became different to them, now they are here shouting that we can't go to street, that is being foolish. But these are the same people whom Raila put on front line campaigning for him. Now you see how these people can deceive you.
That I don't know if it is deception or not, but I know they were there and they campaigned. They went even to the Nyanza region and the Mount Kenya, and even Sabina Chege actually donated very nice shoes to Raila Odinga to use them to climb the mountain.
And do you know one thing? That actually what these MPs from Jubilee, led by Sabina, did during the campaigns was to sacrifice themselves. The fact of the matter is they put their political lives on the line for a cause they believed. And I think that up to there, that is commendable already. That a person will sacrifice, knowing very well that the cause that they are pushing might, I'm not saying it is, but might be unpopular where they come from, but because again they are in this for politics, and they will understand that if, and this is the reality, because if you look at the MPs in Jubilee, and I'm not speaking for Jubilee because I'm not a member of Jubilee, but most of these candidates from the Jubilee Party and other parties within Azimio that vied in Mount Kenya actually lost. That is a fact. Now, seeing that they put their political lives on the line, that is already commendable. But now we must draw, and this is my point, we must draw the line between our political warfares and what the people want. If they realized, and I don't know because we have not had this conversation, but if these MPs realized that actually to be able to serve Mount Kenya, because that is where they come from, and there are different constituencies within Mount Kenya, they need to make particular decisions, then I think that is just the best decision. Whether or not it favors maybe their former cause in Azimio, then now things must change now going forward. Because now we are past the election.
But what does it create? What kind of picture does it create that 6 months down the line, actually 5 or so months down the line, you are no longer in the party that you stood with? What does it then bring to the party ideologies of our politics as far as that is concerned? Just a moment before I give you that.
It brings out the reality of the matter. Because the reality of the matter is that political parties in Kenya are just vehicles
for elections.
Power. Yes. It just stops there. I mean, what are the ideologies of these parties? Because if ideologies of these parties were connected to the people and trying to put forward the aspirations of the people, then it wouldn't matter where you go to try and help the people. But now these are vehicles, and that is why we have over 90 parties in Kenya because everyone is looking for a dog to go and hunt with. So it brings out the reality of the matter, that politics actually is just politics. In elections, politics does not even go beyond the elections. If the vehicle, the coalition you are within, fails to achieve the objective of getting you to power, to be able
the
to
vehicle
make,
is dismantled.
Yes.
Kila mtu anachukua
kila mtu anarudi kwa chama
yake akiondoka.
What do you want to say? But it is a being unloyal, it is a disloyalty, because now this is a party whom you worked with, and until you even you are nominated by the same party, you see, to the parliament. Now you come and now you want to break the same house you have been living in. So where are you going to live? Just because someone invited you somewhere for a cup of tea doesn't mean that you come and burn your house. You still need that house when you come back. So that is being disloyal, and this is what we are talking about as the ODM and the Azimio. That if you want to cross, make your intentions very clear. You want to cross. If you are angry, you are going for tea, just tell us, I'm just going for tea or going for a visit, but I'll come back.
But
so we'll know.
That also qualifies the question. Then there might not be enough tea for your members in your house, so they have to look for tea outside.
They are just kids who just have this kind of card. You leave skuma wiki in your house and eat skuma wiki in the jirani's house.
What if we look at it this way, that these parties that formed a particular coalition, we say party X that formed coalition A with party Z and Y and whatever.
Okay.
These parties, before forming the coalition, had their own constitutions and they had their own principles, which I believe for most of these parties, whether in Kenya Kwanza or in Azimio, are way different. I mean, these are parties that believe in ideologies that do not converge at any one point. So this means that this coalition was only for one. It was a unity of purpose. Now, if the purpose is no longer tenable, then what do you do?
Let's just conclude this conversation and get into the CS talk by listening to the bite of the deputy president talking about the company and shares and what cue you should take and who. Let's have that clip if we can.
Shares. Si ndio? Ni ya shares. Kuna wenye kampuni, wale wako na shares mingi, kuna wale wako na chache, kuna wale hawana. Sasa nyinyi mliinvest kwa hii kampuni ya William Ruto na Rigathi Gachagua. Sasa lazima mvune. Yule ambaye alipanda atafanya nini? Si mlipanda? Si mliamuka mapema? Mukasema mutaki kusikia mambo ya ile system na nini, muka invest, mukapanda, mukapalilia, mukaweka mbolea, mukamwagilia maji, wakati ya kuvuna ndio huu. Ati wale walipanda wavune kwanza, iko makosa? Iko makosa? Hata hao watavuna, lakini wangoje. Si wale walipanda na wavune kwanza, wakishavuna wavune, ile tabaki kidogo, wale wakupanda waingie, watafute huko nini, ile tapatikana wachukue, wakwende. Si iko namna hiyo? Na itakuwa namna hiyo. Hii kura iko na maana. Nyinyi hamwezi piga kelele huko, mpige kelele. Mnasema William Ruto ni bure, hawezi, mnaita yeye majina, alafu akipata, akigawa, mnapiga laini atibuko pale mbele. Ati mnataka mpite wale walisema anafaa atibukue pale mbele. Inawezekana? Mimi kazi yangu pale kwa ikulu ni hiyo. Ni kupanga hiyo laini. Hapo ni kazi mimi napanga hapo. Mimi naangalia kwa laini, nikiona wewe ulipanda, natoa wewe nyuma, napeleka wewe mbele. Nikiona wewe hukupanda na kutoa na kurudisha nyuma, ufanye nini? Niendelee na hiyo kazi ama niwache?
All right. Definitely the mwananchi that was in that meeting said uendelee. When he asked endelee na hiyo kazi ya ama niwache, most of them said aendelee. Let's see how far that will go, but let's have a look at some of this cake that is being shared around, and part of this is the chief administrative secretary position, that's the CSS. This position has, of course, had loggerheads to the constitution, but the other day the court allowed it to go forward. So it's a position that now we have 224 applicants being shortlisted. Among these, 8 former governors. What does this tell us?
We have to break this down slow by slow. There are 224 applicants. Yeah. We only have 20 posts or positions, which means if you divide by 20, each and every docket is going to have 101.2 applicants, or those who are going to be vetted. So you can imagine somebody has been a county president for 10 years. What is it in this government or this leadership or these positions that they still want to die for these positions? Number two, some of them were even rejected by the people because first maybe they lacked qualities of leadership, they never had skills. Some of them is due to impunity. They have court cases which they have not cleared. Some were even the managing directors of these big companies. They even failed those companies. Now these people are also here. These positions were to be led for the young people who should be mentored to be future leaders. But now what happens to these young people? If you read the papers or if you watch the news, the university fee is now being increased from 16K to 52, which means what is the fate of these young people? Because these are the people who are going to these universities to come and fill these positions. If you look at the requirements, you should have a bachelor degree from a recognized university. You must be cleared by the HELB, Higher Education Loan Board. This is somebody who finished school 5 years ago. He studied he was using HELB to pay school fee. He has not paid that money because they have never been employed. But he has applied for this position. Is he going to get it? Which criteria are they going to use to vet these people to make sure that these young people also get these positions? Number two, there is CRB. You have to be cleared by the CRB. These are the people who have taken Asla fund yesterday. They have not even paid those Asla funds. Some are in Fuliza, some are in Mshwari, some are in Tala. They are qualified and they have applied for this position. So are you going to leave them out? If you look at that list, around 5 to 6 people are people with living disability. These are a very small number. Are we going to accommodate all of them to represent those people living with disability? Now, if you talk about two-thirds gender rule, there are ladies there like Linda Ogutu, is a journalist. Are they going to be brought on board to represent the women and everything? So,
at least they are shortlisted.
Let me tell you one thing. No problem. But shortlisting doesn't mean that they are 224. We only need 20 people. Now, if you listen to what the DP was saying, this is a company. He's talking about shares. So imagine I'm the owner of the company. I'm advertising for vacancies, and my sons are also shortlisted. Those who are going to do the vetting are my family members, my brother, my cousin, and my aunties. Do you think they are going to leave my children out, and the company is mine?
If they are qualified, well enough.
Not that they are qualified. I'm going to give those who are going to vet them the list of those they are going to pass, as you are going to see.
Okay, I like your take. What is your take on the outlook of this scope? 224 elected, of course shortlisted, and out of that 53 of them come from the mountain, and this is exactly where the deputy president comes from. Is it a case of the shares really now beginning to work here?
Well, maybe at some other point, maybe towards the end of this process of getting the CAS. Because again, we must understand that this is a political process and these are political appointments. Yeah. So my view and my opinion about this entire process of the PSC vetting or interviewing these candidates for these positions is actually only meant, in my view, that is not the position of the party, but in my view is actually only meant to create a situation where maybe the government is seen to be compliant with the law. Because again, you will understand that CAS positions are not constitutional. Yeah. But since this is a political process and these are political appointments and the government must organize itself, then you must be able to play around with the law to ensure that you put yourself on the right side of the law. And that is what they are doing with this process, ensuring that there is what the court in 2021 said, that there was no involvement of the public. The PSC is seen to put out to the public that now there is a call for application, apply. Up to there, now that is legal because you have involved the public, you are allowing them to actively participate and be able to voice out that they want these positions. But as regards to who is who and who will get to the end list, then I think that is up to the president and the deputy president, basically.
Yeah.
And it stops there. So what I think we should be able to do as a person who represents young people is to say that because they are youths within that Kenya Kwanza coalition, and our aim as young people is to see that our generation is represented in leadership, is to tell the president and the deputy president that as you appoint these people, make sure that you involve the women, you involve all the SIGs, you involve the youth, the PWDs within your appointments. Yeah. So my place as a youth leader is to tell the president, kindly ensure, because we already understand that this process is only to make it legal. As you appoint them, because you are the appointing authority and they already know who you will appoint, make sure that you also consider the youths. And when I say the youth, I do not mean only the youth in the Azimio or the youth in Kenya Kwanza, because it is a fluid group.
Yeah. Going by history, in 2017, the former president Uhuru Kenyatta used the CS positions to reward those lieutenants of his that lost in the elections. Do we foresee this in these appointments at the end of the day?
Yes.
Is it a case of rewarding those who did not make it but were my lieutenants in the field?
It is very clear. This shortlisting is just done for formality, so that you people should not make noise. But look at that list. Do you want to tell me that these people who are with the Kenya Kwanza when they are campaigning are going to be left out? Take for example Millicent Omanga. She even used her resources, branded her vehicles. She was going with the president wherever he was going. Do you think Omanga is going to be left out? Look at the Mariga. There's a day he even broke the arm because of the party when he was campaigning in Kibera. Do you think it's going to be left out? Look at Evans Kidero and the commotion he brought in Homa Bay County. Do you think it's going to be left out? So count those people who are diehards of Kenya Kwanza, because as the clip was saying, we are going to reward them first, and the votes they brought should not be taken for granted, I quote and quote. You see? So if you look at that number, how many are going to be included and which position are going to be left now for the others? Because I'm speaking for Wanjiku, I'm speaking for Mama Mboga and Boda Boda. Even these Boda Boda riders, they have degrees. But because there are no jobs, they turn to the Boda Boda riding. They are also qualified. Even the Mama Mboga, some are in these vibandas, but they went to school and they have papers. They should be included here, because if you talk about bottom up, then what was the bottom up? Which bottom was being brought up?
And I know it is actually possible, because we have seen this with other appointments and maybe nominations. For instance, the nominations to Iyala, where we have a very young person, Honorable Maina Karobia, who actually comes from nothing. In actual sense, he's a personal friend, so I know him, and I will say he's a peer. And such a person coming from that level, my own level, and getting to such a position, it shows that it is possible. So my point is that it is actually important for the president and his government to see the need to appoint more youth, so that we are able to see the reality of his promises. Because I know he went all out in promising that his government will be a government of the hustlers and a government of the youth. And the youth actually played a very important role in putting him in power. And it does with all governments, because 70% of voters is not a mean thing, a child's play. So So this 70% of the Kenya's population or the voters should be able to have a share in his government.
Yeah.
And that stops with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted to take a short break, but when we come back, now we look at the integrity and the importance of this position. Look at the people applying, former governors. What is the integrity of the position of a governor in the CS? And what is the need of this position as far as that is concerned? But before then, even as we take a break, I want us to break down the CSs by county just by flipping through. Mombasa has 6, Kwale has 5, Kilifi has 4, Tana River 4, Lamu 4, Taita Taveta 4. This is the coastal counties, of course. Garissa 5, Wajir 5, Mandera 7, Marsabit 7, Isiolo 4, Meru. You know, these are the arid and semi-arid counties having a good number there. Busia has 0. Busia County has 0 nominations. Yes, it's Busia actually, and the one that has the least in this is 3. There are a couple of 3s here. There is not indicated. They have 3 as well, yeah, it's 3. But a county has 0. What are they going to feel about this? But that's after we come back from this short break. Remember that you can also weigh in this conversation by looking and sending your feedbacks on our social media pages: Kirk TV Kenya on Facebook, Kirk TV _Kenya on Twitter, as well as our SMS number 0311220004. We'll be able to look at that even as we continue with the conversation. We're right back after this short break.
Keep it Kirk now and going forward. We have a lot of family programs, and this being a Christian commercial station, we will partner with you as institutions, as individuals, so that we are able to reach out to the entire world. One person said that my parish is the entire world, and I believe that Kirk TV is going globally, and therefore bring your business. We are going to advertise it and also partner with you.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 4019613, account partner. Pay bill number 4019613, account partner. The Department of PCA Children Ministry Head Office has good news for you. Are you looking for a profession that does not disappoint? The place to be is at PCEA Shalom ECDE College, offering a course for diploma in ECDE. Requirements are KCSE mean grade of C and above. You can also do upgrading from an ECDE certificate to a diploma, and the requirements are an ECDE certificate. Intake is currently ongoing, offering flexible modes of learning on e-learning or full-time. Enroll now and register for the 2023 class on our main campus at Zambezi Kikuyu along Nairobi Naivasha Road Lake Training Center. You can also apply online via the PCEA Shalom ECDE online registration form. Shalom Academy and Junior Secondary School intake is ongoing. We have a one-year offer on zero tuition fee to all new grade 7 students. For more information, call the office on 0111 758 285 or 0113 107 958. You can get in touch with the director, Reverend Peters, on 0725 236 260. Send us an email, pcashalomdekte@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook and Instagram too at pcashalomdekte. Hostels and meals are available for the students in the same venue at a competitive price. You're welcome for a bright future career.
Welcome back, Kirk, in the morning, talking about the issue to do with the CSS. We are looking at this position and how important is it, of course, in the running of the government. And I want us to begin from there. We have like 24 CS, cabinet secretaries, and then we have PSs under that. Some ministries have up to 3 PSs. Now we are going to have a position of a CAS under the PSs. How important is this position? How significant is the position of a CS in the running of a ministry?
That's why we said, like, if you look at the duties of a CS, is like they assist the CS in some duties. But
CS or PS?
Yeah, the PS. But now let's break it down, because now that's why I said initially that these positions were to be left for the young people, those who are going to be mentored to take leadership positions. Because now, if someone was a governor, is now going to be under a PS, there's a CS on top, then it doesn't make sense. Because how can you come from earning almost $500,000 basic pay, then you come and earn 100 or 200 basic pay? It doesn't make sense, you see. Then if you look at even the age of these people, even the PS is now going to be younger than the CAS, which does not make sense also. So that's why I speak on behalf of the young people. We are 75% in this country. We have to rebel and protest against this kind of appointment, because there should be for the youth. Specifically to me, it should be for people with disability, women and the youth.
What is your take, Mr. Ndego, on as far as this position is concerned? As I said, we already have CSs, we have PSs,
and we have
state
CSs.
departments, and that, now we have CSs.
My take, first of all, you mentioned that the PSs are above the CASs. In principle, I guess that is how, that is how it is. But politically, I think the CAS is what the version, the new version of the assistant minister. So now this assistant minister, because if you look at their roles, maybe liaison with the parliament and liaison with county governments, they have portfolio more than the PSs.
But in terms of accounting,
in terms of accounting, and yes, the authorized officers is the PSs. Which also brings about the issue, which was also in court, of duplicity. Article 201D, about how the prudence and how responsibly public finances are utilized. And there is a question of, is this a duplicity of, forget about the roles that maybe have been given, because the roles are in the books. Is this a duplicity of the work of these PSs? Because if you have a CAS who is between now the CS, politically CS, and the PS, they might actually end up doing the same things these others are doing. And also there is the question of the wage bill, which as we were discussing, I told you that the inclusion, even from the onset in the previous government, when these CES positions were introduced, people complained about the wage bill, because this is an addition to what we already have. We are saying that we are overrepresented, and because of this overrepresentation, then it means we are spending a lot of money as a country, which we do not have. Remember, we are in a lot of debt. And this has an implication on the economy through how much we spend towards the wage bill, because by the end of the 5 years, it means that this CAS alone, without now counting the PSs and these others, will have taken home an amount of 1 billion shillings, because they are in the group 5, which they are calling CSG3, which is more or less the same as the PS. So which means we have added a lot of money towards the wage bill, which could have been used in development. So I think now, because this appears to be past us now, because the presidents has been set in the previous government, and the same has been continued in this government, and the same will be continued even if Azimio takes power. It will be continued because these are majorly for political, maybe reward.
Expediency.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we should be able as a country to have a discussion and see how we could reduce the wage bill. Not necessarily by removing these positions, but by asking ourselves, is the president who wants 1.4 million, is this really needed? Is it really worthy to pay this CAS 700,000? Is it worthy to pay this PS 700,000? Can it be cut so that we can utilize this money that has been cut and take it back to the development? And I think that is the position that probably we should take now going forward, because it seems now this political expediency is past us. Now we should be able to discuss even other seats, which we, in my opinion, I think do not really help, including those which are elective. We are overrepresented, and even other executive, we are overrepresented.
There was someone who was saying, actually yesterday I was reading on social media that Dubai doesn't have a president, Dubai doesn't have MPs and all that, but one of the most developed cities in the world, and they just under the Emirates, for that matter. So as you said, we are overrepresented for that matter. Then what do we how do we move forward as far as this is concerned? You say this is a political appointment, but if our government makes a mistake, and this mistake, I want to call this a mistake because it wasn't in the constitution.
Yes.
We've had issues with it in the constitution. But the succeeding president as well, the government that comes after that also pushes this agenda, and they go to court. The court allows them to go ahead with doing the other mistake that was made by the previous government. What do we need to do? How do we get to really anchor some positions in the constitution and stick with it? Can we say that if the opposition is not in the constitution, then that is it? There's no way we can find a way around it.
Okay.
Let me
tell you one thing. I want to request the court. Let the court help us to respect the constitution. If this thing was not in the constitution, I don't even see the need why we should even talk about it. Because this is a way of rewarding political sycophants, which we don't need. We are already overburdened. Like if you look at the case, some of the applicants there are even church leaders. Some are even bishops. They run churches. That's why someone was saying that we should tax the church. Because someone is running 3 churches, which has 3 services every Sunday. How much does this person earn in every week? Then this person is still applying for the same position. We are going to be taxed again to pay the same person. And at the same time, we take the person offerings and tithes. Then these churches should be taxed. And when someone was saying from the other side of the coalition, they were making noise, oh, this person is a socialist or something. Let me tell you one thing. As it is now, that's why you see there's even a prayer at 9, starting at 9, we are going there.
You want to go attend?
It's not just a prayer. You may think it's just a prayer. It's not just a prayer. We are going to discuss on how we are going to move forward. It's a prayer first, but after the prayer, after the prayer, we have to talk as members of the house, and see the way forward. Because now this thing is now getting out of hand. And we have to save this country.
Let me bring you in constitutionally.
Yes.
When a position is not anchored in law, then why have it?
It should be, should just be the end of it. That is what I think, that if the constitution has not placed a certain position, then it should not be placed. But again, I will say, and I will use a very harsh word, which probably might be, I don't know whether it will be wrong to use it, but the law is an ass. And when I say that, I mean that there are so many loopholes, and whether we like it or not, this government, the coming governments, all the future governments, every government that will come in place will have a place to anchor itself. in terms of how they are able to organize their government, even if positions are not in the constitution. And this is because the president has the power to appoint. And if he is able to appoint and ensure that he tries to find a route so that the Public Service Commission appears to have followed the law, to follow his order, then I think that becomes the end of it. So what I think we need to do, and the solution to this problem, because this will keep recurring, and there is, I bet you there is no way to control it. I think, in my opinion, maybe the best solution to this will be to set standards, to be able to say that this is what, because of how the economy is, this is what a certain state officer should earn, revised downwards, and this is the amount of tax that they should pay, so that we are able to know that when someone gets into a certain position, they will earn this amount of money, not because we want to reward them for what they did politically with the public coffers, but we want to ensure that they are working as per what the government wants to achieve, but working on worthy terms, so that we do not have a situation where we are overpaying while we are also overrepresented. So now it becomes double tragedy. So we should be able, and it is also should be set, a standard should be set to ensure that a government can only have this number of state officers. That, by that I mean that the government should only have this number of ministries, so that we do not have a situation where the next government comes and splits what has been happening, splits the ministry, yes, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, then now divides it and says now this is the Ministry of Youth, this is the Ministry of Sports, so that we are able to reward. There should be a standard that this is the number. If it is 21, this is constant. We cannot go beyond here. Now, if we have said we must have the assistant ministers back, well and good, then this should be the number. We should not go beyond here. This is the amount of salaries they should earn. We should not go beyond here.
It should be anchored in.
Let me add something. You are asking if the opposition is not in the constitution, then why have it? Let me say this. Why do you think, if it is not important, why do you think they wanted to create an office for it? It is like we are going back to the single party state, where the president can monopolize all the arms of government, or can monopolize all the sector in the country, which does not make sense, because an opposition leader is the voice of the people. When people are oppressed by the current government, it is that work of opposition leader, whether it is in the constitution or whether it is not recognized by anybody, to speak for the people. Because if you want all of us now to speak to the government, meaning we are going to be on the road. But that's why there is that one person or those 2-3 people who is speaking on behalf of us. And that's why they're going around collecting public opinions. Whatever they will say is what the response that they will get from the people. Now, if the government will not listen to their plea, then we will take back that power to the people, the sovereign power, and we'll tell the people, the constitution gave you the mandate to have a peaceful protest until that government will listen to you. It happens even in other countries. That recently I saw there's a country which was protesting about, I don't know, the government reforms or some reforms or something. You see, the constitution allowed that.
Now, even as far as this is concerned, I want us to mention something here before we move forward, because this is a story covered by the nation. Raila accuses Ruto of tribalism in appointments. And do you see tribalism in these positions, the CSS?
It depends on how you view it, because again, if you view it as per the CAS alone, then you are bound to be wrong. But what I would say that it will be wrong, it is correct politically for him to reward his political or maybe friends, but it is wrong for him to appoint only people from one region. So I think it should be spread, because his help came from across the country. It did not come from only one region. So there were people from Kisii County who helped him. There are people from Migori. There are people from wherever, Marsabit, Wajir. It should be seen that the national cake is shared among all. And I think that is what Honorable Raila is putting across, that we should not see only one tribe being placed somewhere. It is somewhere that we have come from and we do not want to go back to. So that the country feels that we are all represented and that this is a government of the people, by the people, it is important for it to seem that way.
And there was an issue even from within, the government. The people were not happy with the appointments. One of them being the MP of South Mugrango, Mr. Silvanus Osoro, who was not so happy by, especially the former governors, making a list, 8 of them.
Yes.
Well, this is the part of the government that is feeling the jitters, and then there is the other side of the government who are saying it's tribalism. What does this bring out as far as the appointment is concerned? Is it a case of where the side of the bread that is battered in this case, maybe Osoro feels because I had issues with Ongwae in Kisii, I feel it should not be here. Raila feeling I had issues with Kidero and other, they should not be in this appointment.
Let me tell you one thing. If you can remember the previous government, the reason why the people are saying His Excellency retired President Uhuru Kenyatta tried, because if you look at his appointment, he never leaned back or so much into those who are with him closely. And if you look at most of the seniors, that like the Fred Matiang'i and the late Magoha, these people are not even, nobody knew about these people. In fact, we were asking ourselves, who is Magoha? Is when we were following, oh, he was a lecturer somewhere, you see. So if you talk of like even a company, you can't employ all your family members and you expect them to run your company satisfactorily. That's why you find these rich people, these tycoons, they employ people somewhere. The family members are just shareholders. They can make decisions in the meetings, but those who run the company are external forces. And that's why you see people are complaining, oh, this government is falling, or this government doing, because if you appoint someone, you come with him from the same county or the same constituency to be a CS or transport or something, what do you expect? Someone that comes to your office, you speak the same language. Do you expect development or do you expect improvement? No. Now, if you brought the case of Osoro even fought the current governor of Kisii, Simbarati, and we saw it on public domain. Now, they were feeling that effort. You see how now youths are being desperate for this kind of position or for them to be on the good side with the government. Like there's a very young leader, promising leader. She took the microphone, comes to the podium, start insulting His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga. You see, and this is somebody who is managing the whole country, representing all the women in the county. There are very many students in our area who are not even going to school. Start watching for these people, take them back to school, develop the area, empower the women, stop abusing Raila. That is not our work. Okay. Leave that to these other people. You see, so these are our young people are so desperate.
I want us to conclude by talking about the prayers that Azimio la Umoja, a coalition, is conducting. But before then,
before you conclude, because I know when you do it will be done. I will really love to bring another angle to this, and this angle is pertaining to our culture of politics or how we run this country. One question is it important in the future to actually move away from tribal appointments and appointing regionalism towards maybe performance, and looking at it this way and saying this person has merit, and so now because of this he is able to run say the docket of the education. We have seen consistently, for like in the case of Magoha, how he was able to run an institution like the University of Nairobi, and so because of that we are satisfied that he can do it perfectly, whether he is Kisii or whether he is Luo or whether it doesn't really matter. Another question is the question of integrity, chapter 28 of the Constitution. Are we really bent or inclined towards ensuring that the right people come to power? Because if someone who had been accused, and rightly so, had been accused of running down a county government. For in the case of Kiambu County, where I come from, where Honorable Waititu was accused of running down the county through maybe unscrupulous or maybe corrupt methods or ways. How then can it be that this person in the next government then is appointed to run a national office, where his maybe public money is put to his disposal? How sure are we then we will not go back to the same cycle of public money being stolen, public money being lost, without a clear indication of what we are doing with it? So I think it is one, a question of integrity, and another, a question of merit. We should be able to look at the performance of people, and we should ensure that, and because the Constitution states that, that if one has been accused before, and it is found that it was not political witch hunt, because again it can be, then that person should not run any political office in the future.
Yes, even as you ask those questions, I also want to ask a third one. Is it the time that we took the appointing authority from the president and have a committee or have modalities that we know that this is how the process of appointing into a position is going to take, and it's not going to be a political appointment, because the moment it gets into the president's seat, it's going to be political.
Yes.
Is it a time that we look into ways to just take away the appointing power from the president and maybe have modalities and a system that looks through the merits, as you talk about, the integrity, the codes, and everything, to now bring the right person into power?
I think
yes.
Yes, because I think that would be disastrous in many ways. Because we should be able, a country is its leader.
Okay.
If a country fails, if Kenya today becomes a failed state, then it lies upon the backs of those who are leading, and more so the president. A government is the president. There is no way to it. If a country fails, then the president has failed. If we say the previous government failed, it is not the ministers, it is the president, because he had the power to appoint and to fire. So we must also give that power to the president always, so that he has the ability to ensure that he knows, because he knows who can work for his government, because it is his government, to ensure that his agenda, because it is his agenda, succeeds. So that we should be able to give him a leeway to be able, or the latitude to be able to organize himself so that he picks the best. But now here is the problem. In the process of giving him the power to pick the best, he might pick the worst because he wants to reward them. Now, I think the solution to that will be to ensure that what I had said earlier, that if someone has been found to have black spots or to be spotted with maybe crimes, has been taken to court for this and that, and has been found guilty, then the Constitution should be able to be strengthened, and the institutions must be strengthened, including the courts, to be able to say no.
What if they have not been found guilty, but they have cases in court?
I think now, like you were saying, so the power rests with the president, or another team should be put in place. Now, the question is, who is going to appoint that team? Who is going to oversight this process of appointment? Is it the same? It will still land on the president. So let president do that. But you remember when they were campaigning, they were talking about freedom is coming or something.
Freedom is here.
Yeah, and after the declaration, you see some cases are being dropped, some money are being refunded to those whom they are taken from. So then we as the citizen ask ourselves, now if this person was truly having a court case and it was in document, there were evidence, where are these cases being dropped? So this is a country where you can commit a crime and get away with it because you belong to a certain affiliation. Remember, there's a case where an MP shot somebody and died. There was a claim that he shot the person. Now, if the witnesses were there and they recorded statement, The person was called by the DCI. Nothing happened. But if you look another side, someone shot somebody by mistake, the case in his court, he was pressurized to support the family and the person until he get well. You see, now you wonder, which kind of generation are we raising? Like, what will I tell my kids? Because if they watch the news, they see so and so did this and went away free. The other one was reprimanded and something happened. No, what are we telling the future generation? Because we say they are the leaders of tomorrow. No, which kind of leaders are they going to be? If us, we don't observe the integrity, we just do crimes, get away with it, we can misappropriate funds allocated to us, we just think that it is a lifestyle, we can do anything with it, you see.
Okay, and let's conclude.
Just a minute, just 1 minute.
Okay.
I say that we also need to change our culture of politics, so that we stop electing leaders because of their money, because that is the root of the problem. Because if I elect a president because of his money, then it means this money must have come from pockets, and those pockets will want a return, they will want a gift maybe in the future. So I think, and that had been put in place, a political infrastructure by the IBC to ensure, it had been put in place to ensure that there is only an amount, a certain amount of money you can only spend. I think that must be built on to ensure that as a candidate who is looking for a seat, whether the MP or the president, you must be able to account for the money that you have used, and it must be minimal, so that you do not spend so much and you want to return in the future, or so that you do not spend so much that it forces you to go and look for pockets to fill your pockets, and that also creates a room for demands in the future. Yes.
Let's conclude by looking at shortly on the issue with the public barazas that Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance has been conducting across the country. Yesterday, Raila Odinga, the leader of Azimio, was in Kitui, and he asked people today to turn up at Jivanji Gardens for a prayer, and this is a prayer for what is going on in the country, and of course the electoral commission as well. It means prayers. And when you said when you go out there, you take opinions from the people, from the public, listen to them, and that is what you're going to, at the end of the day, use to conclude on what the Azimio la Umoja is planning to do. But I've been following these public barazas. I've never seen Mwananchi speaking. I see the politicians speaking to Mwananchi.
Okay, when politicians speak from those areas, they represent the people there. They know what happens. Yes, they know what happens. I was a candidate, and people used to engage me. And when I sit here, I speak for the youth of this nation and the youth for my ward. So when I go to Baba and tell him this is what is happening, I'm speaking on behalf of the youths or behalf of the people, the Mamamboga, who are conned by these past elections. Yes. So he knows everything. He knows what is going on. When Baba buys unga at 350 in Quickmart, I also buy it at 350 in Quickmart. Because we are all of us are in this country, and we feel the heat. So that's why we have to go and pray because this is where the problem came. And I congratulate the person, the whistleblower, who said that Right Honorable Odinga got 8.1 million votes and Dr. Ruto got 5.9 million votes. They are saying it is a claim. But now we are asking, if the whistleblower is mad as they stated, then let them open the server. So we want to pray the IBC, those who are still there,
to pray for
so
them,
that God should open, God should not harden their hearts, so that they should be people of integrity, and they say enough is enough. Let us respect democracy. Let us open the server, and we know the truth from there. Then we see what is going to happen.
This time around, the results are in the public, portal. The portal. It's no longer a server. The public portal is there. Have the Azimio taken time to go through the public?
There are claims that we had 4 servers. One was in Venezuela, one was in South Africa, one was in Daso area,
Those are claims.
Was in IBC. So we want to see the one for IBC.
Where are those claims coming from? From which side? From your side?
From those who were there. There were some technicians or those people who were dealing with those things. When the water exceeds flies, now they are speaking now.
Those are claims.
Because maybe they were never rewarded the way they expected.
But
there's no problem.
From your side, neither from your side.
Yes,
neither can we substantiate that. So we believe that at least for what we know, the IBC says that the results the Form 34As are all in a public portal. And that Azimio also went through. But be it as it may, let's talk about the public barazas.
You saw what before you continue. You saw what happened in Bomas. Were the election declared after all the votes were counted or tallied? No.
Yeah, that one.
Yes. So meaning the reason why we demand for the server, we want to know the truth. If we lost, no problem. If we won, there will be another different discussion. That is it.
Okay, fine, fair.
So we as Democrats and the Young Democrats movements, we are on course.
Fair enough.
And we are going for prayers.
Fair enough.
I only have one issue. Yeah. I only have one issue, which is a major issue and a very legitimate one. Okay. With the public barazas led, not all public barazas, but public barazas as led by the Azimio right now. And this problem is, what should be our focus? And is it really tenable to have people running across the country telling people, and you have seen this in these meetings, people saying, politicians saying, that we should close businesses in Nairobi until the government either decides to resign or we march to the State House. Is it really tenable? I mean, as a person who comes, and this now I'm speaking as a person who comes from Mount Kenya, how can it be that probably I own businesses in Kiambu, which is close to Nairobi, and then I go to the streets or I go to these rallies and support a leader who says that we should close businesses in Nairobi until I am named president? Is it really tenable?
It is attainable. If you are a citizen, if you are patriotic and you know that the democracy of the country has been infringed, then you should support Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. Baba is ever right.
But now
and whatever Baba sees when he's sitting down, you cannot see even if you climb Mount Kenya.
As I finish off,
this is a real Baba supporter here.
Yes,
I can see that.
So if you say that you cannot close your business because of that, then you are also
let him finish
just
first.
like them.
Let him first. Yes. Okay.
I like how Kiongozi expresses it. But
yes,
as I say that, I mean, it has been a cycle of saying that my cake has been eaten over and over and over, and we must put an end to that. Whether it is by ensuring that there is electoral justice, or by ensuring that there is discipline among us to be able to understand that when I lose an election, it actually could be that I lost. It actually could be. There could be a possibility, whether it is 25% or 10%, that I actually lost. And we must accept that when we go to an election, we either get in power or someone else gets to power. And now we get to a place when we understand that we understand that when we get to power, we must be able to fulfill the promises of our people, we made to our people. But if, unfortunately, we are not able to get to power, someone else does, then it lies upon our backs now to ensure that he does exactly what he promised. And we help in delivering that because we also had an agenda by pushing through parliament because we have MPs. But if I find it a very good cause when it's about issues. We have the issues of food prices, we have the issues of banditry, we have issues of insecurity in Nairobi, we have so many issues of businesses maybe crumbling. that is an unworthy cause. It is a worthy cause. But if we are to turn that into personalities and personal interest, then we will fail as a country.
Okay.
And we will fail as leaders, because I saw, and I'm saying this because I saw with a lot of pain an MCA from somewhere in Nairobi saying that we will close businesses. But I failed to see leaders of this coalition that we call our own standing up to actually correct that and tell them, you cannot say this. We want this, but we cannot achieve this by sabotaging the people who we claim to fight for.
Maybe you do not understand the context of
I want us to finish this.
What he was speaking towards at closing the
business. 20 seconds.
But let me tell you one thing. Raila Amolo Odinga knows what is good for this country. Even the kind of crime you're talking about, the youths have seen it. They were conned. What do? They have nothing, because it is how the situation is right now. Now, how do we help the situation right now? Yes, what do we do?
There is a danger in
the power rests to these people.
Just to finish off,
and
1 second.
I want to take this as your last remark.
Power
my only last remark.
And you've also given your last remark.
The power rests on these people. Yes. If the leaders cannot help them, they have the power to come out. If they want to close those businesses until you listen to them, so be it.
Okay. Yeah, those are your last
1 second,
yes.
The last one. Yeah. There is a danger in believing that one man is ever correct. Whether that man is Honorable Raila, or whether that person is actually my party leader, Honorable Mother Karua. She is not ever correct, and she understands that. She must be able, and I know she understands that. I will not agree with everything that she says.
But do you believe Raila's victory has been denied since?
You already gave your last one. Yes, please.
I believe in my party ideologies, but it doesn't mean that I will believe in every idea that comes from a certain leader. Okay. We must be able to differentiate and say, now, this issue favors the people and this one does not. And to be able to help, because we love them, because I love my party leader, to be able to tell her correctly that this path is good, but this one is not good.
Okay, I want us to end there, but are you going to attend the prayers today?
Yes.
Are you going to attend the prayers?
I don't think so.
I
will not. Yes.
Okay. At least we have a representative here who's going to tell us what will happen in those prayers, and get to understand exactly what you're going to forward as Azimio la Umoja. But as we said, ours here is to give you an opportunity to also, get to understand what is going on in the country, get to have your view as well, your feedback. I want to say thank you for being part of this show. I want to say thank you, gentlemen, for being part of this show. You made it marvelous by, help us understand the issue to do with the CSS, and of course the prayers as well. Prayers are good, so we want to really pray that in those prayers things are going to be peaceful and find solutions for what is facing the country right about now. Thank you very much, Bwana Duwar, and of course thank you, Bwana Felix, as well for Bwana
Ndego.
for being with us this morning.
Yes.
And also thank you very much for watching this show right from home. On behalf of everyone who made this show success, including my producer, my director on the other side of the wing, I want to say thank you. See you again next time, guys. I want to believe that anytime we invite you, be able to come in. We have this chat once again.
I'm grateful for having us.
All right,
personally,
when we're still alive, we'll come.
All right, wish you the best, you guys out there. Thank you, and see you again. My name is Vincent Kerosi, and as always, ciao.